Hello out there. We're on the air. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. This is I was about to say the daily Bitcoin journey, but it's not. It's the Bitcoin journey. And this show focuses on still actionable and logical discussion for Bitcoiners and for the future Bitcoiners out there. And there are a plenty future Bitcoiners out there. This show today is titled "This Bitcoin Bull Run Will Catch Most People by Surprise," including the future Bitcoiners, including many in the chat today. So this is a new thing here for the next couple months anyways. I'm going to play it by ear, but the plan as of now is to do shows Monday morning, weekly. I've been doing daily shows every morning for the Living the Future community and the 365 Days of Bitcoin community. But I'm going to be doing one every Monday morning, I think, going forward on Mondays. And I was trying to pick a day. What would be the best day to do a show, the weekly show? And I figured, you know what? I love Mondays. Most people hate Mondays. I love Mondays. So why wouldn't we start the week with a fun, entertaining, exciting show about Bitcoin? So with that in mind, I think we are streaming to all of our favorite platforms today, including YouTube. I see a lot of people here in YouTube today. Zap.stream should be running as well. And it is. And we might even be on Rumble. Let's see. Let's check this out real quickly. Rumble. If you're watching on Rumble right now, please leave a little heart. Oh, there's one watching over on Rumble, but we are live. So that's what we're looking for there. All right. Can you believe it? Did everything right. And we were on time today as well. Pretty rare. But it is a new day. It's a new dawn in the Bitcoin journey, and I'm feeling fine, you might say. All right, so let's check on some comments. Let's get to the Mempool. Let's see what the heck's going on here today in the world. Ginger with the first chat of the day. Congratulations. Where was Killer today? That's the question. Frank's here. Infinity, everything divided by 21 million. You know, let's start with that, because I think that this is a very, very important part for every Bitcoiner to understand, is that there are only 21 million, as I'm sure most people know, but I don't think that most people fully grasp exactly what that means. And I feel like once you get to that point where you do understand exactly what that means, and I've talked about this a little bit before, but it was a long time ago. And I said, it's one thing to say it. It's one thing to kind of understand it. But when you actually feel it like deep inside of you, and you understand that every single asset, plus our productivity, our imagination, everything going forward will be measured by 21 million scarce units called Bitcoin and 2.1 quadrillion units called SATOSHIs. But when you start playing that out in your head, and again, when you really start to feel exactly what that means, your life will change. It will. It'll change the way you value things. It'll change the way you spend. It'll change the way you work. It'll change the way you design your life. It'll change the way you think about time. Your relationship with time changes with that. And it's not just, it's the most important part of this is that it's not like the $900 trillion that they tell us that the world's worth. For some reason, people think that there's a cap on what this world's worth of 900 trillion. And that has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. You take every house, every door on every house, you take every commercial building, you take every acre of land, you take every vehicle, you take every dump truck, you take every set of golf clubs, you divide all of those things by 21 million. And that's what they're actually worth in real units, not dollars. People who say there's $900 trillion dollars worth of value in this world do not know what they're talking about. So once you get to that point of understanding that everything divided by 21 million is what things are actually worth, you start living differently. So I don't know if Frank is there or not. I mean, that's his name, so I'm hoping he has a decent grasp on that. But that's not the point. The point is once you get there, your life will change forever. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't put hey, you guys and girls want to do me a favor? Take your favorite social media platform, whether that's Twitter, Nostr, Facebook, LinkedIn. I don't know who here would have their favorite social as LinkedIn, but who knows? And just share this. Let's get some new people in here. Maybe there'll be one person out there who finds the show today that that had never been in Bitcoin before. Anyways, okay. So that's my ask of you today. We are live on Nostr, and it's shared now. Majo says 1510 here. You're famous now, Joe. People watching your content all over the planet. Bitcoin connects. Well, that's the beauty of Bitcoin, is that it is a global thing. I look really, really bright here today, hey? Look at this light. I'm trying to reduce my fluorescent lights in my life. Trying to make a few changes, and one of those is the fluorescent lights in my life. So I got this beautiful light here from, I wonder if I can change it a bit, turn it down. How's that? I don't know. Now I look red, but it is red. So you can have, you're supposed to have white on in the morning. I don't know if you can tell or not here. Hold on. Little live demo. Where's that knob? There we go. See, it goes red. So this is kind of for if you're working in the evening. So it's not, kind of relaxes you a little bit. And then it goes to white. So we'll find somewhere in between maybe for today. But those are from Chroma. Actually, I've had a couple people in the last week order some stuff from Chroma. Maybe I'll just share that link because I do think that this is probably one of the most overlooked parts of health. I know everybody's kind of up with the working out, the food, the diet, but what they've done to us with fluorescent lights and the LED lights is a big problem. So you can block some of those. That link I just shared there, you can get some glasses, some blue light blocking glasses. You can get some of these lights. They're a little bit more expensive, I think, than other options, but they're super high quality. So again, if you're somebody who has some disposable income, some money kicking around, you want to invest in your health, that's the one thing that I don't mind spending Bitcoin on is my health. Because I mean, what's Bitcoin without health? So that link I just shared there should get you a nice little discount on the products. And they're Bitcoiners, actually. That's why I wanted to support them. The Chroma team is Bitcoiners. I'm pretty sure the guy was actually at Bitcoin conference this year. I'm pretty sure I saw him, or I just saw a guy wearing a Chroma shirt. So I just assumed, like, Chroma's not a big brand that you'd go to the store and buy a shirt for. So I assumed that was a guy from Chroma. But he is definitely a Bitcoiner. So it's nice to support our fellow Bitcoiners out there. J-Dog, good morning. Mert, good to see you, my friend. And we got Ian. Yo, 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 gang. Happy Monday, Jor. And Arnie. Where is Arnie? Arnie boy. See if he shows up. I doubt it. Guy lives on his own schedule. Buck 52,000 says, booyah. Booyah. Greetings, Earthlings. There's Killer. Hello, Living the Future gang, and hello, Bitcoin Journey gang. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Look at this carousel. Hi, Jor. We missed you, man. Well, I would say, I'm not going to tell you what to do here, but I would say if you've been missing the daily show and you want to keep that part of your routine, you could join. Very simply. You can join. I think the minimum is $5 per month, and you can see the daily show. I've been doing a daily show every morning still. I do one topic every day, kind of in line with our 365 days of Bitcoin. Clip that out, post it, and then afterwards we just talk about whatever's going on in Bitcoin. So it's a good way for people if you're again, if this is part of your routine, watching the show in the morning. That's the best way to do it. We've had a lot of people join the last couple of weeks, so you get access to that. Plus, you get access to the Signal chat, which I'm going to be cutting off probably. I've said this a couple times now, but there's a lot of people in there now. I think there's like 125 Bitcoiners from around the world in that chat. So we do have to put a cap on it at some point. And I'm thinking I'm going to do the cutoff. There's going to be a couple different cutoffs on June 30th in my life. So that's what I would say. But I appreciate that. Nice comment there. Frank says you sound great. That's good. I got the right mic then this morning. Duncan, one of our Bitcoin journeymen and Living the Future members. Morning, Duncan. Oh, we got some action over on the Zap stream today. I'll get there right away. Hustle hard. Good morning, Jersey. Rock. Hold on. Still have some Vegas kicking around inside me. Crazy. Week later. Rock says, hello, everyone. Like, share, comment. Have a wonderful week. Amen to that, my friend. Shecker says, I like the Doomsday Prepper Bitcoiner vibe of this channel. Cheers, man. I've never watched the Doomsday Prepper Bitcoiner before, but is that a person even? We are small scale preppers here. I mean, if you have Bitcoin, you're a prepper in your own way. $10 a day, a cup of coffee. Speaking of coffee, let's see if anyone's interested in doing the DCA today for the show. The daily coffee average. Although this will be a weekly now for a while. We've been doing it on the other channel as well, or the other show. So we will see. But anyways, here's the coffee. Speaking of coffees, you can use that link and you can zap the show. $3 worth of value, a coffee. And the cool thing about that is the sats amount changes every time, so we can measure the price of Bitcoin that way. Bump the algo, hit the like. Bump the algo, buy a BitAxe. Good call. Good call. Frank's in South Florida. Dap Data, good morning, my friend. Jor for the score. Dalton, been a minute since I was on a live. Me too. Especially a channel live. BTC Hunger Pains, good morning. Matrix, good morning. And Buck52 says, if you haven't joined the Living in the Future community, just do it. It's good advice. That's good advice. I would say the same thing. We get a lot of really, really, really great people in that community. Plus, you get the live show every day too, which is a nice little addition. Rick, our weekly, I guess we should say now, reminder for the likes. Thank you, Rick. Good to see you, my friend. Imsy says, can you explain why the bull run will catch most people by surprise? How? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. We got a lot of different things to talk about. And we're still getting through the comments here. Ryan C. So I do expect, with this weekly show, I do expect, a decent turnout on Monday mornings. That's going to be the new time. So again, if you do have a question, just put it in the chat. I try to get through most comments, but as this chat gets busier and busier, it's harder for me to catch up. So if you do have any questions, and this is what I say on the Maple Bitcoin show too, just like the Mempool, right? Do you have a question with priority? You want it answered, you got to pay a little bit more. Just like the Mempool, you want your transaction sent with a priority, you got to pay a little bit more. So if you do have a question that you absolutely want addressed, I'm going to try to address most, but if you want it for sure, make sure you send either a super chat or a zap over on Zapstream. Best way to get your question answered. Ryan says, hi, Joe. Robinhood currently shows my quantity as Bitcoin and my value as USD. Not sure why it's broken. Shouldn't my quantity show as USD and my value show as BTC? I took self-custody to fix the glitch. Attaboy. Yeah, I mean, Robinhood's probably a decent place to leave your Bitcoin. I know there's a lot of people that do have their Bitcoin with Robinhood. But I would prefer not to. And I mean, one really easy thing that you can do to get your Sats off of Coinbase, of ShakePay, of Robinhood, of Binance, anything. All you have to do is just go to a website called Aqua, and you download their wallet. I'm going to put the link in the. I'll leave all these notes. We're going to be doing a couple different shows now because this is a weekly show for now, anyways. We might go back to daily, but we'll see. But I'll have all the links here below for everybody to in the pinned comment and in the description. So we had what? Chroma, we had the Patreon, and we have Aqua. So I'll put those just in case there's some people watching later who don't have access to that link there. So yeah, that's what I would do. The Aqua wallet is incredible. It really is. And obviously I don't get paid to promote them or anything. I use their wallet pretty much every day. It's great for moving your Bitcoin off the exchange into a wallet. It's great for swapping if you want to move from layer 1 to Lightning. If you want to spend some Bitcoin, if you want to move from Lightning to on-chain, you can do the reverse of that. And it's solid because you can actually take custody of it. You have 12 words that come with that wallet. And that's one thing you got to keep in mind with Bitcoin is that unless you have the 12 words associated with your wallet, you don't actually own the Bitcoin. So it's a very important part to understand. So if you're keeping Bitcoin in a wallet and you don't have 12 words to that wallet, you don't actually own the Bitcoin. It's basically just an IOU from wherever you're keeping it there. So the Aqua wallet is great for anybody out there who's looking for something simple. And I think this wallet's still in test flight. That's my understanding of it. But there's a new wallet called Cove, like COVE, Cove, that I've heard several people talk about now. And I'm pretty excited to try that one out because it's supposed to be just a very simple wallet for people who just want to take their Bitcoin off the exchange without any fancy features, without Lightning, without eCash, without any of that stuff. Just a very simple Bitcoin wallet. And so that wallet, I think, should be released soon. So we'll keep an eye out for that one. And I'll probably do a video about it when it comes out. Doom Kid, good morning, fellow future billionaires. Amen to that. MZ says many people are bearish. Yeah, 100% they are. Many people who haven't put in the time to understand Bitcoin are bearish. Praetorian says, George, do you believe in Bitcoin home mining? I do. I got a BitAxe right behind me here. I got a couple of those babies running. And I don't think you should get into Bitcoin home mining to turn a profit. I think you should get into Bitcoin home mining just to support the network, to learn some stuff. And if you set it up as a solo miner like I have mine, there's a chance you could win, 3.125 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, you got a shot to win 3.125 Bitcoin. It's just a good thing to go through, I think, because I'm definitely under the impression that every person, especially here in Canada and the US, in some of the colder climates, everybody's going to be heating their house with Bitcoin mining because it just makes sense. Why would you put electricity into a unit that doesn't give you anything back? Whereas if you had it hooked up to a Bitcoin miner, if you're heating your house with a Bitcoin miner, your energy costs are being subsidized. It's a no-brainer. If you're doing it that route, I would probably suggest doing pool mining so you actually have a consistent flow of sats coming in every month to subsidize your energy costs. But for me, I'm just lotto mining right now, just for I wanted to learn about it, be part of it. And so I just shared my link there for the Solo Satoshi affiliate. That's the Bitcoin Journey store that I have with Solo Satoshi. So if you want one, I think they're about $200. I'd say a good investment. Don't sell sats. Don't go out of your way. Don't go into debt. But if you're somebody with a bunch of fiat, it's a good thing to go through. Hey, Moro. Good morning, Joe. Everyone have a blessed day. Good morning, Moro. Good to see you. VHF. Good morning, my friend. Hunger Pains says, "Did you see the thing about Bitcoin ties with the game called Space Quest from 1991? The people that made it named one Satoshi and the other last name Nakamoto. Even the B is the same, Buckaroos." Yeah, I've seen something on that. I haven't dug too far into it, but I mean, I'm under the impression that this thing has been in the works for a very long time. Written in the stars, you might say. Written in the stars, long before we were here. So somebody just sent in 821 sats to our guy Arnie's wallet here. If you do want to support the show, remember there are no sponsors. There will never be any sponsors on the show. That is my guarantee to you. But it is reliant on the community that way. So I think it's important, not because I don't like promoting other products and companies, which I will do, but I just don't want to be influenced by anybody else. I want to just be able to talk freely about whatever the heck I want or whatever the fuck I want. That's my deal here. So thank you to whoever just sent in 821 sats to Arnie's wallet. There was no message attached to it, but you can do that. Or this is my new wallet actually, because it's a little bit easier than typing out a whole bunch of words there. And that's kind of the video I made about Lightning the other day, is that you should be claiming your own Lightning address right now. Just like email addresses, 20 years later, after all the email stuff came out, it's pretty much impossible to get any email address without putting 5 numbers behind it or an underscore or anything. And the same thing's going to happen with Lightning addresses. So this is my new Lightning address, 88 sats at speed.app. Very clean, very concise, very easy to type in. And you should consider that when you're making a Lightning address. And I'm actually going to be putting out a part 2 of that video because there's a lot to talk about there. A lot to talk about from that video. I've been spending hours trying to get out the sats to everybody who left a comment under there. But keep an eye out for that one. 2035, we will rule the world. Yeah, that's in 10 years. I agree with that. Shuby. This is actually my this is actually my burner account here, Shuby. So I just typed this message in here while I was on the show here. Shuby says, "I'm new here. Been watching your videos. You sound more knowledgeable than most Bitcoin YouTubers." Well, thank you. It's just time. That's all it is. Time and a lot of learning, a lot of time spent and hours in Bitcoin. A lot of uncomfortable days, a lot of uncomfortable sessions, you might say, listening to stuff that's way above my head and just trying to connect some dots there. So it seems to be coming together a little bit. It's funny though, somebody on Nostr the other day, I shared our 21 sats security and inheritance solution. And somebody was like, "What's your, let me find it here actually, because it was funny. I think it might have been a bot or at the very least a dipshit. Wow. Booted me out of the whole studio there. Thanks, YouTube. Appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. It's every time that happens, it's like 20 people leave and never come back. So I appreciate that, YouTube. You're doing a lot of great things here for the show. But anyways, this was the comment from somebody on Nostr, from Cactus Blossom. Said, what are your qualifications for selling Bitcoin security? How long have you been in Bitcoin? You seem to pop up with your YouTube show in the past year or two. So apparently you need certification to help people now in Bitcoin. I didn't know that. I didn't know that when I got into it. So I appreciate Cactus Blossom pointing that out for me, that I'm underqualified to be talking about Bitcoin. But then we have people like Shubi here who say the opposite of that. So I'm going to go ahead and side with Shubi here. Shubi sounds like a human that I would get along with much more than Cactus Blossom. So thank you, Shubi. Good to see you, my friend. Parks, good morning, Bitcoiners. Ratik says, hello, Jor from India. I started stacking after I watched you. Wow. We got 88 people in here at the same time. That is, that's the kind of comments that, that really mean the most to me, because that's the whole point. That's the whole point of this thing. Okay, so I want to give a shout out here from to Steve B. Just sent in 1,000 sats to Arnie Boy's wallet. From Steve B. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that, my friend. Okay, let's jump to the mempool here. So we are currently sitting at block height. Wow, 900,000. And that is different from the last time we talked. 900,485, which is the total amount of blocks that have been mined since January 3rd, 2009, the very first Genesis block. Difficulty adjustment happened in about 4 days, which is the secret sauce behind the Bitcoin network. If you don't know what the difficulty adjustment is and you own Bitcoin, that should be one of your priorities. Figure out what that is, because it will help significantly with your conviction on Bitcoin. And the last couple blocks were mined by F2, via BTC, Foundry, and Foundry. Unfortunately, not Jor's BitAxe. So there you go, Mempool. Mempool.space. Jimmy, look at this. Long time no see. Yeah, I know. I've been gone. Well, kind of. Living in the Future members have been up to date, up to speed. Santino. All right, hold on. I got an Arnie here in my mouth. Sorry, Nostr. We got 60 people in Nostr right now. Holy shit. Look at that. So we got to pay some attention to Nostr here. Seed Signer Noob says, thoughts on the seed versus seedless debate? Yeah, I do have thoughts. If you're going the seedless route, that means that you're trusting somebody else to hold your seed. That defeats the whole purpose of Bitcoin. And it's not like this stuff is that hard. That's where most people get it wrong. It's like, I mean, I get the point of the BitKey, but at the same time, how hard is it to download the Aqua wallet, write down 12 words, keep those 12 words safe, and then just go from there? Like, that's got to be the easiest fucking thing that you could do in your entire life. And most people just see it as this big, crazy, complex thing that needs to be done. So yeah, I don't subscribe to the seedless theory. I think that that's it's going to end very poorly for a lot of Bitcoiners out there. You have to own your own private key and look after your seed. It's part of the journey here. So I mean, is there a use for it? Maybe, but like, I do not support it. That's for sure. Scotty with a 99 sat zap, with a Scotty zap. 99 sats. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you, Scotty. And Sunshine says, good morning, Jor. Thanks for recommending Jerry Loves Freedom. Been enjoying his streams lately. I wonder if Jerry's here today. He said he's been getting up early. Jerry, you here? You see that comment from Sunshine? Thanks for recommending Jerry Loves Freedom. Enjoying his streams lately. They are a lot of fun. I'm pretty much in there every day. I enjoy watching, talking with other Bitcoiners, and I'm usually doing something. I'm usually working out or doing something outside, but I try to tune in whenever I can because I love Jerry and I love everything that he's doing. So big shout out to Jerry. Seed Signer says that light is badass. I have it too. Game changer. So Seed Signer's talking about this light from Chroma. I'll have it in the show notes for you here. But it's awesome. I don't even turn my lights on in my office anymore because I'm trying to reduce my fluorescent LED exposure. I don't know. Might be something there. But the cool thing about this is because I'm on my computer so much, like I'm on my laptop pretty much all day here, is that this light kind of offsets the LED coming from my screen, I think. That's my understanding of it anyway. So that's cool. That's cool to hear. Jack Dorsey actually promoted Chroma on Nostr a couple months ago. So they're great products. Again, don't sell. Well, I shouldn't say that. The one thing I'm okay selling Bitcoin for is my health. So I'm not going to say don't sell your Bitcoin. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But these lights are awesome. Sunshine says, I need to get that light. People don't think about light. Light is key to health. Few understand this. Exactly. Exactly. The Bitcoin nurse. Look at this. Good morning, Hodler. Sent you a little sat since I got my Lightning node running. Wow. The Bitcoin nurse sent in 420 sats. Thank you, Bitcoin nurse. Said, I enjoy the daily show. I just happened to be on vacation this week and bam, got my Bitcoin drawer fix. Love that. Sorry, Santino. You got a lot of love there. You got about 10 minutes of airtime there. But it's good. One of our Bitcoin journeymen, deservedly. Scotty says, I watched the video on the address, but I don't comment on YouTube. Oh, I got you. On the speed address. And also zapped another Scotty zap of 99 sats. And Stephen Burns, look at this. Stephen, my man. All the way from Ireland, across the pond, sending 1,000 sats. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you very much. All right, let's keep things rolling here, folks. Let's keep things rolling. We got 65 people watching on Nostr today. That might be a new record. Nostr, if you're watching, say hello. Send a zap or say hello. Let's see who's out there. Went to sleep at 105K, woke up almost 108K. Damn. So we got to be, for our DCA, we got to be pretty close to an all-time low in DCA. Look at this. Bitcoin Generations. Good morning, Bodhi. Everybody. I'm asking you, go and check out the Bitcoin Generations channel. Bodhi has been doing some very good work, some very consistent work, and I love it. I've been on his show quite a few times, but he's been doing some other stuff on his own, which is amazing to see. So head over to Bitcoin Generations there. That's Bodhi's link. I'll also put, sorry, I missed Jerry's too. Bodhi and Jerry. So I'll put those links in the show notes and the pinned comments for you. But make sure you go subscribe to Bitcoin Generations. And that's kind of what I said on the video yesterday too. I said, just go subscribe to these channels. We have to be supporting Bitcoiners. Anybody who's willing to put themselves out there, talk about Bitcoin, help grow this network, we have to be supporting them. So go subscribe. And also, you know, if they do something that you don't disagree or that you disagree with, if they say something you don't like or they're, you know, they don't align with you, then just unsubscribe. But it's not going to hurt you at all to go and subscribe and to support these beautiful Bitcoiners. So big shout out to Bodhi. He's been doing some awesome work lately. And I had the pleasure of meeting Bodhi in Vegas and we had a lot of fun together. So there's the video that I posted yesterday too. If you have a chance, go check that one out. That's talking about the trends in Bitcoin lately, the new YouTube channels popping up, the women in Bitcoin, and the a focus on security, more people paying attention to how they're securing their coins. All right, I see a couple friendly faces in the chat here. Jake, good morning. Living the future is the place to be. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. What's the best place to store your 24 words? Bank vault? So my opinion on that might be different than others, but most people are, I don't want to say uneducated, but this is this is the main reason why I don't have any sponsors on my show. This exact reason. Because historically, most Bitcoiners will have their 24-word phrase written on paper. And then they're watching YouTube and they hear their favorite Bitcoin YouTuber talk about steel plates. And they're usually got an affiliate code. They're usually sponsored. They're usually being paid by one of these seed plate companies. And they think that steel is the best place to store your keys. And, I probably would have went down that same rabbit hole because I have steel plates here. I was and still am a steel plate user myself, but I wouldn't have been able to discover Superbacked. And Superbacked is actually a way to encrypt your 24 words on a fully air-gapped offline device, and you can geographically disperse it. You can basically set it up so you can put your device in a bank vault because your device is secure. And the reason why your device is secure is because you have a PIN code on it. So even if one of the bank employees went rogue, broke into your vault, took your device, they would still need your PIN code. So that's why I have no issues leaving it somewhere like that. That's your device, though. Keep that in mind. You don't want to be putting your 24 words in a bank vault because if somebody gets access to that bank vault or safety security box, they have your Bitcoin. Why? Because it's literally written in plain text. So somebody finds your 24 words, they type it into a wallet, and they now have your Bitcoin. So that's why you want to encrypt your backup phrase. Have to. You don't need to do it today or next week, but that should be plans in your future to encrypt your 24 words. So again, you put your device in the bank vault, you put your recovery phrase encrypted, geographically dispersed. So with that, I forgot that I made this video, and then Craig shared it with me the other day. And I forgot that I made this video. So there's always people asking me about this, the service that we have, the 21 sats solution that we have that uses Superbacked. And so I did a half an hour video about it, talking about it. And so I'm just going to share that so I don't have to waste any more of your time this morning. If you are interested, though, you can go watch that video. I did a full kind of breakdown on the process, how it works, the details, what it costs. It's all in that video right there. So I just shared that in the link there, and I'll put that in the show notes as well for Superbacked. I'll put beside it. And yes, Frank, one of our first customers actually said, I use the 21 sats inheritance protocol and Superbacked to protect my seed words, encrypted and password protected. That is how I can pass it on to my kids. Yeah. So basically with that solution, I'd say it 10 or 15x's your security. And then it actually has an inheritance plan built into it. So what we're offering, the solution, the service, everything involved with that is, in my opinion, criminally underpriced. But the reason it's criminally underpriced is because we are a new company. We only started about 6 months ago. And so as we get more and more customers, as the demand increases, as word spreads about this solution, I guarantee our costs are going to go up. But for now, they're still criminally underpriced. So there you go. And if you watch that video and you like what you hear, you can just shoot me an email. Man, this computer just run like an absolute piece of shit this morning. I apologize. Not for swearing, but for my laggy video here. Where's that address? There it is. joe@bitcoincitadel.net. Just put 21 sats in the subject line, and we can set up a call. We'll set up a call and see if the solution makes sense for you. Again, don't panic. Don't rush. Don't do anything. You never want to rush anything in Bitcoin. You always want to just take it slow, take it easy. But again, that should be kind of your end goal here. Okay. I want to show a video here. I'm gonna show a couple different things actually. Okay, so this is we got a question here on Zapstream, and like I said, if you want your question addressed, 69 sats, we'll take it. We don't discriminate sats, but I might have to have a threshold on the sat minimum here for a question. But 69 sats, I like the number, so we'll take it today. So here's the question from Luke over on Zapstream. Said, good morning, George. Do you put any thought into your personal security outside the direct Bitcoin sphere, i.e. VPN, Graphene, Linux, alt browsers, etc.? Love from Quebec. Thank you, Luke. Thank you for the sats, and that's a good question. You know, this is something that just like Bitcoin security, privacy, I think, is something that a lot of people take for granted and sleep on. So kind of my thoughts to it is like, I'm just doing things slowly, just like Bitcoin security, right? You can get super paranoid, you can get super worried, and that's usually when people make mistakes. So with my privacy, I've kind of been taking steps very slowly to just improve my security overall. So that does include things like Proton Mail, Proton Drive, less reliance on Google. The Superback stuff I think is very important. Having my Start9 server here where I can do very secure and private things right now in terms of my Bitcoin node, in terms of buying and selling non-KYC Bitcoin. So that's kind of the approach that I've taken to it. Is I do understand how important it is, but I can't obsess over it. I can't like go, head over heels into the privacy things. I'm just taking very slow and methodical steps towards being more private online. I think that it should be a priority for everybody out there. But again, it is something that people get overwhelmed with. They obsess over, they kind of lose touch with reality. And some of it is for nothing as well. There's a lot of things that people spend money on and think they're doing a lot of good with. But, the other part of that too is that I'm kind of under the opinion that, you can spend as much time as you wanted to worrying about that stuff. But at the end of the day, if the current powers that be really wanted to find information on you, they could. Right. And I'm never going to be like a full-fledged cypherpunk. So if they want to find any information on me, they probably can. So I can't waste too much time worrying about that stuff. I just kind of have to live life and do my best, essentially. That's my approach to it. Hope that makes sense. Hey, AV. Good morning. Good morning, bros. Happy Monday. Let's go. Bros and girls, too. Frank, oh, that was you. 821 sats. That's 88 cents in the US today. Love that. Thank you, Frank. Timber Crasher, one of our Bitcoin journeymen here. Good morning. Jimmy says, my buddy made a Bitcoin space heater. It's awesome. I've been playing with the idea of warming the water and radiant floor heating systems with miners. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things that you can do and you're going to be able to do in the future with Bitcoin mining. Dalton says, thanks for the sats the other day to my speed wallet. If you guys and girls knew how long that took me to do, and I don't even know if I'm halfway done yet. I was going through that. So I posted that video about the speed wallet the other day. I said, if you leave a comment on the video, I'll send you some sats. And it's been hours already. And I got to the bottom of the page and I was like, oh, nice. I only have like 15 left. And so I did a couple more, scrolled down again, and it just hadn't loaded. There was probably 200 more comments that I still had to do. And this was like 10 o'clock on a Saturday. And I'm like, this is insane. Absolutely insane. But I'm going to do a video on it talking about what I've learned, talking about some follow-up things on that. I think I'm going to do it today, probably right after the show today. I'm going to film that. So keep an eye out. John Chess, good morning. Yeah. Frozen video, I got liquidated. That's right. Hey, look at this guy. BitBilly. For those who are new to the channel here, BitBilly is I would say beyond a legend. Beyond a legend. He is the highest zapper on the show, probably the biggest contributor to the show. There's been a lot of very consistent zappers through the years. I don't want to start naming names because I'll miss somebody and they'll get mad. But BitBilly is infamous in this community here. The highest zap and probably the most zap. Not the most zaps, but the highest total. So good morning, BitBilly. I don't know if you're still here or not, but it's good to see you, my friend. YouTube is so centralized. That's right. And that's why we got 39 people over in the Zap stream today. The Nostr chat. Any source for solo miners that ship from within the EU where we could support you via affiliate links? I don't know, because I think that Solo Satoshi only goes to Canada, the US, and Australia, I'm pretty sure. But I'd have to get back to you on that, John. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you right now. Focus from Bulgaria. Wow. Wow. Good morning. Another frog. Good to see you. Oshinaka. Wow, what a chat here today. Okay, I want to show this though. So I want to go to who? Hodl. So speaking of centralization, man, this computer is just running like a piece of absolute garbage right now. Why? I'm going to try closing a bunch of tabs here and see what happens. I can't believe how bad this is. I mean, probably my fault here. I just closed like 20 tabs there. So I don't, I don't claim to be perfect here, but we're doing our best. Greetings from Seoul. Where the heck is Seoul? Nostr. Okay, there it is. So I want you to drop whatever you're doing for the next 2 minutes here. And I want you to pay really close attention to my words. Because I think that every single Bitcoiner here should be on Nostr. And is it June 6th today? No, it's June 9th. Okay, so that must have sent. Good. Every single person watching the show now, later, whenever you find it, you have to be on Nostr. This is no longer just like something that you should do, that you can take some time and spend and learn about, an option. Every single Bitcoiner here should be on Nostr. And the amount can vary of how active you are on there. The more active, the better. But you have to be taking advantage of this stuff, because I want to start with this tweet first off from American HODL. And the second tweet, or the second post, this is on Nostr as well, is also going to be from American HODL. One of my favorite Bitcoiners out there, American HODL. So this is the post that he made yesterday. Said, as a Bitcoiner, you are living proof that conviction, risk, and defiance work. That scares people who built their lives on compromise, compliance, or comfort. So here's why I'm saying that, is because Nostr is a little bit different. It takes a little bit of time. It's not as easy and straightforward as most of the social networks and other things we're used to using, but it's worth it. It's worth it because YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everything is completely centralized. Everybody else is sucking your data from you. And most people are just okay with that. And that's exactly what this post says. It's like most people are used to compromise, compliance, and comfort, the easy road. That's the road that many people take, even though they're holding Bitcoin. they still don't realize the importance of these tools that are being built and these tools that are available to us today. And one of those is Nostr. So look at this. He got, for this post, this is the nice thing about Nostr. It's cool that it's decentralized, you know, in a way. It's not fully decentralized, but it kind of is. It's censorship resistant, because if you make a post that Primal doesn't like, you can just use your private key and log into Damus or Amethyst or Nostr. But for making this post here, American Hollow got 2,090 sats. You don't need X amount of subscribers. You don't need X amount of followers. You don't need X amount of hours listened to or watched. You make a post, and if other people like it, they can send you real value, not likes, not fiat, not any other bullshit, but real value in the form of SATOSHIs. So that's the first part. And the second one here, I'm going to play a video that he made, and I can actually confirm now. I thought this was AI. I showed this on the Living in the Future show that we did the other day, but it is AI. This was used, this was made using AI. So it fooled me. I thought these were real people, but the second time I watched it, I figured it was AI. But anyways, that's not the point. Point is the message here. So we're going to watch this video quickly. And this is about Nostr.
The internet was supposed to be our enlightenment. It was supposed to set us free. Instead, it became a digital prison.
Centralized platforms decide what you see, what you say, what you are.
But freedom doesn't ask permission. It runs on open protocols. It runs on Nostr.
With Nostr, there are no gatekeepers. It's just nodes and other stuff transmitted by relay.
Built for speech, fueled by Bitcoin, owned by no one, controlled by you.
Nostr gives everyone on Earth the ability to speak freely, forever. That's new, and we think that's a very big deal.
This isn't an app. It's a protocol, and it cannot be stopped.
The internet is ours again. Own your voice, own your keys, own your future on Nostr. The internet.
How badass is that? So that's what that's my call to action for today, for this week, is just figure it out. You know, it's not that hard. It's really not. It's easier than most things to set up. You don't have to put in your name, your phone number, your email address, anything. You just find one of these apps that are available on Nostr, and you create an account, and you have your public key and your private key, just like Bitcoin, and you look after that, and you can use it between different apps. You can find which apps that you like. I like Amethyst myself, but that's only available on Android. You can use Primal. That's what most people start with, Primal. I don't recommend that. I don't know. I've just had issues setting it up on Primal right off the hop. In the US, I think it's a little bit cleaner, but for people in Canada and other parts of the world, I would suggest using something else. But Primal's pretty good. Primal you can use on desktop and mobile, both Android and iOS. But that's my call to action today. And I'm also going to put my NPub in the show notes here. So if you are on Nostr, you sign up for Nostr this week, tag me on there. Follow me, tag me, and I'll give you a little boost. I'll share your post, help get you some followers right off the hop, hopefully, and I'll send you a little zap as well. So that's my call to action, because again, it's easy to use YouTube. It's easy to use Twitter. It's easy to just do things the way you've always done it. But it takes time. It takes effort and energy to go away from that system. And it is something we should be taking daily steps towards in different parts. And one of the easy ones is using Nostr more. Again, I really think that people underestimate how valuable your data is today. So let's say for the last decade here, the data has been mostly used to advertise products on the internet to you. That's how the internet's been monetized. is because you take your data, you sign up for all these different free sites, they sell your data. That's how they make money. And then people sell you products. That's how the internet was historically monetized. And it's a shit show, absolute shit show. And what's happening now is even worse, because all the data that you have on Twitter, on your different browsers, whatever data that you give to these different platforms, it's actually being used by AI. And the thing about AI is that it's more and more people are using it. It's requiring more and more data from the internet. And so you're feeding all this data for free. And again, data is incredibly valuable. You're feeding it all to these different platforms for free. You're getting nothing for it. So on Nostr, you actually own your data. Nobody takes that data from you. And in the future, you're going to be able to run a Start9 that sends all of your data throughout the day from your different social platforms, from whatever you buy, from how much you walk, what you eat. All that data is going to be fed into your Start9 server. And you're actually going to be able to package up that data, decide what you want to sell, and then sell it. And you're going to get Bitcoin for that. The AIs are going to pay you for your data in Bitcoin. So you can either wait for that day to come, or you can start taking action today. And there's not a whole lot of people on Nostr right now. I'd say it's very similar to like Bitcoin back in 2013. So you can not only take advantage of that in terms of your data, but also start building a network there, start gaining people's trust, start building a brand on there. It's ripe right now for anybody out there who's willing to put in a bit of time. So that's incredibly important. Okay, so we got a couple of things I want to touch on here before we go any further. So Craig, hey, Craig's over on Zapstream. Morning, Craig. Craig sent 2,100 sats for Arnie insurance, and Arnie hasn't even showed up here today. I don't know if he's worthy of that or not. Arnie boy. Actually, the video I shared, yesterday was just because Arnie sat behind me, and I was like, I need to make a video of this. It's pretty rare that Arnie's sitting right behind me sleeping when the video's on. Anyways, for some, like all day that I work, he just sits right there and sleeps. But as soon as the camera comes on, he's gone. I don't know. I get it. He's trying to be, he's trying to restrict the people. He's trying to be more of like a hidden guy. He doesn't want to be all over the place. He's respecting his own privacy. I get that. He does a better job than me. And the Bitcoin nurse said, did you get rid of your Maple Bitcoin Koinos Lightning wallet? I just seen they had a hack. No, but it scared the shit out of me. I'll tell you that. First thing I did this morning was come onto the computer and drain our Koinos. Thankfully, it wasn't hacked. Thank God, because there was a decent amount of sats on there. So I moved it off onto Wallet of Satoshi, and I'm going to make a UTXO here today. So yeah, if you got a Koinos wallet, I would highly suggest transferring those sats. But it's another good lesson. If you don't actually have your 12 keys to your wallet, it's an IOU, and those sats could be gone any day, any second. So moral of the story there, use a wallet that has 12 words associated with it. Use a wallet that has 12 words associated with it. If the wallet that you use doesn't have that, Robinhood, Wallet of Satoshi, Speed Wallet, Koinos, then you're doing it wrong. Only leave a very small amount of sats on these wallets because, again, they are custodial, which means that somebody else owns those sats, not you. You just have an IOU to them, and they could be gone in the blink of an eye. And Duncan sent in our DCA, 888 sats. Or did he send the actual DCA? Yes, he did. All right, here we go. Let's do our DCA for the day. Somebody said the price was up, so this should be good. What are we here? June 9th. You know, this computer's still, even though I closed like 50 tabs, it's still running like shit. Okay, so the DCA today was, let me bring this up. It's a fun part of the show. This is how we check the price of Bitcoin. So the last time we did a DCA was on June 6th. That would have been on our Living in the Future show on Friday. And we got 2,877 sats for that, for $3 worth of value for a coffee. And today, that amount is down. So whenever the price of Bitcoin goes up, our salary or our tips go down. So that was from Duncan, $27.94. I'm going to start putting these on here because we got something fun coming in the future as soon as I can get my shit together here a little bit. But this is from Duncan today. So I'm going to start putting whoever sends in a DCA, I'm going to start putting their name on there for now. And there's going to be some prizes as well coming here soon for all those very generous folks out there. And we got Daniel. Good morning, Daniel. My roomie from Vegas makes a mean breakfast. Sent in a fat zap of 888 sats. Thank you, Daniel. My man. Okay, so let's go to where? Where are we going to go from here? I'm going to catch up on some comments here because I missed a lot. Tom says YouTube is centralized, but the connections you can make from form a decentralized conscious net. Exciting times. That's true. That's true. F-bomb. Johnny Capahala, 30 minutes late. What's up? It's okay. We still got lots of time here. We got lots of time. So if you do have a question, again, throw it in the chat. If anything you want to discuss, I got a couple more things I want to talk about here. But we'll probably be here for another, I don't know, half hour. Nick says, cheers, beautiful people. It's been a minute. Ignore the noise, just stack. Amen to that. Okay, here's a good question from Enoch. Enoch Weaver. That's a good name too. Says, good morning, Jor. I've recently found your channel. Immediately subscribe because our views align in regards to Bitcoin. That's good. I mean, just that right off the hop is good. That's what you should be doing. You should be supporting every single Bitcoiner, Bitcoin only channels out there. If they're talking about other stuff, don't give them any time or attention. But if there's Bitcoin channels out there who are specifically talking about Bitcoin, please make sure you subscribe, make sure you like their stuff. And it really makes a difference. I'm telling you, it really makes a difference. So thank you, Enoch, for that. That's a good way to start. But the second thing here is I have a question. Been using a ledger for years. What would you choose instead? So if you're familiar with using a ledger already, I would go to a cold card. People really overestimate how difficult the cold card is to set up. It's really not. I mean, I would suggest, looking into it a little bit, getting help from AI, watching some YouTube shows. It's not really just like common sense. Or you could hire Bitcoin Citadel to help you with it. That's one of our packages that we have available, is just helping you get set up with your cold card, sending your first transaction, making sure you're storing your private key properly, and some other important things to know about that. So that you can hire somebody to help. You can hire Bitcoin Citadel to help, or you can go through that yourself. But I would recommend using Cold Card. That's my favorite one. That's the one that I use for all my stuff. I like the Q, but I also have a couple of MK4s as well. So I just shared the discount code there for the cold cards there. And I got some exciting news too coming soon. Hopefully by this time next week, we're going to have some exciting news about CoinKite. Not that they're going to be a sponsor. Again, we have no sponsors. We're never going to have sponsors. But I'm going to be doing a little giveaway for some people on here. So maybe hold off a week, Enoch, because you might be the winner of a cold card. Oh, I just kind of gave it away. Oops. Whoops. Primal shows unknown reference. In regards to what? Focus says, why is Ledger bad? I'm using Ledger. It's fine. I mean, yeah. You nailed it. You nailed it. It's fine. if you understand Bitcoin, if you understand how valuable Bitcoin is today and how valuable it's going to be in the future, yeah, if you want to keep your Bitcoin for the next year, use a ledger. It's fine. But when you're securing the best and greatest asset that has ever existed in human history before, you want a little bit more than fine. Hungry Pain says there's a wallet on Bitcoin Core that is the original Bitcoin wallet. It has no seed phrase. It's why everyone lost their Bitcoin back in the day. Yeah, make sure you have your 12 words, important part of it for sure. Brett says, send some sats via speed as a thanks for informing me about ZBD. Made a nice chunk of sats this weekend. Nice. Yeah, that's another thing that every single person should be doing every day here is something like ZBD. I love ZBD. I'm on there every day. I'm on like a 20-day streak for basically you just go on there, you do their daily poll, and you get between 5 and 100 sats every day. And again, if you understand how valuable these sats are, then just like my grandma used to say, or she's still around, but she used to say, look after your cents and the dollars look after themselves. Or in this case, look after your sats and the Bitcoin will take care of itself. So don't sleep on free sats. ZBD is a great way to do that. I just shared my link there in the chat, and I'll also put that in the pinned comment for people watching later. For the video link. Oh, that video didn't play? I was watching it. Sorry, I might be confused what we're talking about here. Can you recommend some cold wallets? Yes, I just talked about the cold card there. I mean, you got options there. You could use a Jade. I like the Blockstream Jade. Jade Plus. I've never used it myself, but I do like Blockstream. There's also the Passport, Foundation Passport that I like. And I've heard a lot of good things about the Bitbox. I've never used it myself. Or sorry, not the Bitbox. Maybe it was Bitbox or the Keystone wallet. I don't know. People I trust have talked about those. And so therefore, I trust as well. Lewis Payne, South Korea. What does that mean? What are we talking about? You're from South Korea? So yes, there's Mertz's NPub. Sorry, man, I can't copy and paste that. So what I would say is if you're on Nostr and you're watching this, just go skip out of the live chat, leave a comment, and I can copy and paste all the NPubs in there and follow everybody who shares that. So if you're watching this now, you just have to leave the live chat. You have to leave a comment on the video and just put your NPub in there so I can copy and paste it. Or if you're watching it later, put your NPub in there and I'll give you a follow on Nostr. We got to support our Nostr folks on here. CS says the global collapse of gold is going to send shockwaves that change the world forever. Look for Adam Livingston's latest video to Peter Schiff. So I do subscribe to that theory as well. I think that a lot of the money from around the world is going to flow out of gold and into Bitcoin. But, I think it's really going to be real estate that changes a lot of it. I think a portion of the gold will flow into Bitcoin, but the real estate, the bond market, the stock market, a lot of that capital will flow into Bitcoin over this next decade. A lot of it. Probably, I don't know how much. That market today is worth about $450 trillion, and Bitcoin's current market cap is $2 trillion. So you can do the math yourself pretty much on where Bitcoin's going to be in the future here. It's not that hard. Jimmy says, changing my mind on Saylor, his strategy using infinite credits made from nothing to buy scarce assets. That's what Rich Dad, Poor Dad taught with loans and real estate. Yes. That's what the Federal Reserve does. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I like Saylor too. I'm a strategy shareholder myself. I'm a Strife shareholder myself. I have some Misty now. And I've also been buying some 21 Capital. Is it 21 Capital XXI? I like that. I think that Mahler's, Lutnick, and Paulo from Tether are going to do some very big things together. I have a lot of hope for the 21 Capital. I think that's what they're called, 21 Capital. So I reallocated some of my positions to that. Hey, look at this. Somebody sent 888 sats to the Speed wallet today. Thank you. I don't know who that was. Anonymously. Thank you. Sailor also says the first country to buy Bitcoin wins. What happens to the non-coiners in that scenario? True Bitcoiners don't just seek personal gain. They also reject mechanisms of theft. 100%. 100%. All right, look at this. We got Joshua. And Josh, I was waiting for your comment here because I saw a legendary zap come through the airwaves here of 888 sats. Says Morn Arnster from the Carnster. So Mark Carney just sent us 8,888 sats. Thank you, Mark Carney, also known as Josh. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that, my friend. And Mert also sent in a support zap of 88 sats. Thank you, Mert. Jason says, yes, finally, my first live. I'm going to definitely tune in and learn as much as possible. Yeah, just stick around here for a while. You're going to learn some things. I don't claim to know everything, but I do my best to make sure everybody's getting as much Bitcoin as they can and keeping their Bitcoin as safe as possible. Mazeman says, I just found you on Nostr, Jor, and followed you. For those looking, search Jor, not 88 sats. Yes, that is a good point. Search Jor. Jimmy says, this was kind of the whole purpose of Bitcoin, the phoenix that was born in the ashes of 2008. Yeah, it's funny how that worked out, hey? Funny the timing on that. Almost like it was planned. $1.52. Jor, what was the price of silver when you sold it? Are you up on the silver versus Bitcoin move? Oh, probably. Probably. Although I don't know when I bought that. But again, I'm not really looking for 3 or 4 or 6 months down the road. I'm looking in 10 years what that trade is going to be, right? Otis says, Jor, what's one book that's non-Bitcoin related that has helped you with Bitcoin? Easy answer to that one. The Sovereign Individual. The Sovereign Individual, although I'm not done it yet because it is a beast to get through. It's a very difficult read. But man, Sovereign Individual is playing, basically the world's playing out exactly what was predicted back in I think it was 1993, that book was written. And it has nothing to do with Bitcoin. They didn't talk about Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin wasn't created until 2009. But they basically talked about the world decentralizing and a new economy being built in cyberspace. So this whole premise, the whole book was built around the idea that the internet will decentralize the whole world, and it has. The internet, unfortunately, has been somewhat captured by the Googles, the Microsofts, the Apples of the world, but Bitcoin's going to bring that back. So that's kind of the idea there, that governments are going to be toppled because of the internet, because there's this new world, this new economy being built and created in cyberspace, and that's exactly what's happening right now. So I highly, highly recommend everybody watch that, or not watch, but read The Sovereign Individual. That's a good question there, Otis. Good question. Otis, by the way, was one of the channels that I talked about on the video yesterday. Otis makes does some good work. Great dude. Great dude. Thank you, Joy. I appreciate that greatly. No problem. No problem at all, my friend. Trailosophy? Trezor One good long-term storage. I believe it has 24 words. So I would say this is kind of my rankings. It's kind of my rankings for cold storage. From the bottom, exchange, ETF, Aqua Wallet, Sparrow Wallet, Ledger. Ledger probably is better than a software wallet. Kind of, maybe. Trezor, Jade, Passport, Cold Card. That's my rankings. I don't know if I wrote that. I don't know if anybody wrote that down or not, but that's just what came to the top of my head. So yeah, I mean, it's decent, but you can do better, and you should do better. You're protecting the greatest asset that has ever existed in human history before. You shouldn't be settling for fine or good. You should be protecting it the best you can. Seoul is in South Korea. Huh. Jerry loves freedom. My man. My bodyguard, my chauffeur, my brother. Is the daily live show back? No. We're going to be doing Monday mornings now for a while. Monday morning weekly show. I'm kind of excited about it, actually. We'll see. I might get back to the daily show. That was kind of my plan when I started this, is to get back to the daily shows in August. But we'll see. We've still been doing the daily show on the Living in the Future. So I basically share the link there in the morning for the Living in the Future community. And it's still on YouTube. It's still live chat and everything. But it's just not public. And I kind of like it because I can talk, even though I talk as freely as possible on the show. It seems like when I'm not on YouTube, I can, go a little bit deeper into things, you might say. So I want to share Jerry's channel here. I know there's a lot of people who have been subscribing to Jerry's channel lately, but there's Jerry's. Jerry does a live show every day as well. I shouldn't say as well. I used to be in that category, and I might get back to that, but we'll see. Life, you got to be flexible. Jerry does a great live show every day at about 6 o'clock my time, so 4 o'clock, is it Pacific? And would be 7 p.m. Eastern time. And he gives away free sats, which is awesome. And here is our guy Otis's channel as well. Make sure you go check out Otis on the YouTubes. We got to support our Bitcoin family here. Juan, good morning. Jet said, do you ever read Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean? Yeah, I think it's actually a pretty overrated book, to be honest with you. But it helped a lot of people, so I'm not going to shit on it too much. Knox Bill says, yo, good morning. Nostr has a strange interface. I created an account, but we'll need to do more research. Well, I mean, I kind of know what you're saying, but you're a little bit off there, Alan, because Nostr doesn't have an interface. Right? Nostr is a protocol. Nostr is like email, like the internet, like Bitcoin. It's a protocol. So there's no interface. That'd be like saying Bitcoin has a strange interface. But what you'd say there is maybe the Speed wallet has a strange interface, or the Zeus wallet, or the Aqua wallet has a strange interface. Those are just wallets built on top of Bitcoin. Just like with Nostr, they have different apps that are built on top of Nostr, but not all apps are the same. They have different features, different things you can do with it. But just like in Bitcoin, you can use your same public and private key pair to access all of them. So just like you could take your 12 words from Aqua and put it into Sparrow, you can take your private key from Primal and put it into Damus. So it's the same kind of thing. There is no Nostr app. There is no Nostr interface. These are all different apps that are built on top of Nostr. That's kind of how the whole thing works. SoCal USA. Nice, Jason. True Line of Judah says, Bitbox, great wallet. There you go. We got another testimonial here. Okay, so let's look at a couple more things here. I got a couple more things to talk about. What is this? Oh, I want to give a shout out here. I want to give a shout out to a business on Nostr. Onyx Cat Pottery said, I've been selling my pottery for 8 years, and I just made my first sale in Bitcoin. It's actually happening. 8 mugs remain, lonesome and needing a pleb to call their own. Those are pretty badass mugs, no? I think I might buy one of those. I think I might buy, or at least inquire about them. And the reason why I brought this up is because I'm pretty sure Maria, who is a member of our Living in the Future community, she shares a picture of her Bitcoin mug pretty much every day on Nostr as part of her Good Morning post. And it looks very similar to this. So I can't confirm that, but I still want to just give a shout out to Onyx Cat Pottery here, because that's a pretty badass mug. So that's the kind of stuff you'll find on Nostr. And the cool thing about that is you could leave a... So this is exactly why I love Nostr. So they made this post talking about they made their first sale in Bitcoin. And for that post, they received 500 sat zap from BTC pins, 210 sats, 69, 42, and 42. So a total of 1,057 sats. They didn't sell a product. They just made a post. They got 1,000 sats just for posting this. And it's the same thing. I've done the same thing with King Golf before. I've shared pictures of our leather, of our finished product, of other things, and people zap the note. So it's like you don't even have to sell the product. People just want to support through Nostr and through zaps. Like, how cool is that? How cool is that? So that's I didn't even notice this before, but look how cool that handle is there. It's a little Bitcoin. That's badass. That is badass. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay, I want to watch this one. I want to watch this. If it loads. Thinking about it. Okay, well, for now, we'll look at this. Oh, this isn't even opening either. Wow. Nice. Nice. There we go. Okay, so this is another Nostr post here. I'm going to be talking about Nostr a lot, so I would suggest, I mean, you might as well get on it. Otherwise, you're going to be listening to half the show and have no idea what I'm talking about here. But here's another one, and this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. So it says, this is from Vitor Pamplona. This is the creator of my favorite wallet, Amethyst. And it's kind of crazy, but the whole reason I changed from iOS, from being an Apple user for 20 years to Android, was just so that I could use Amethyst, which is the Nostr app that Vitor made. I think it's Vitor or Vitor. I don't know. I like Vitor. But he said, most people don't invest in the world they want to see. They expect it to be handed to them for free while they watch Looney Tunes. Perfect example of what I'm talking about today on the show is that these tools are being built. People are using these tools such as Nostr and Zapstream, Lightning, Liquid, eCash, Bitcoin. These tools are being built, and privacy tools as well. And so if you actually want the world to change, you have to be part of that. You can't just sit on the sidelines and hope that a politician is going to come and save you, or hope that things are just going to magically change. You got to do the fucking work yourself. You have to put in the time, the energy to understand this stuff and actually start using it. You have to. Because although Bitcoin is inevitable, in my opinion, it's going to be around in 1,000 years from now. What Bitcoin looks like and what privacy and all this kind of stuff looks like between then and now is up to us. And the cool thing is that these tools are available now. We can use them. We just have to actually use them. So that is that's a good post from Vitor. I like that. Josh says Nostr rules. And Josh also shared what? A picture here? What is this? Let me see if I can find it. Another cool thing and a benefit to being on Nostr is you can actually share pictures on Zapstream. Oh, look at that. Josh's view from work today. What was the comment there? Shutting down the hammer lane on the Liberal 401 today. So here's Josh in his crane. Josh is a crane operator, one of the biggest supporters of the Bitcoin journey, the 88 Sats radio channel, Josh. And that's his view from work today, from the office. So another good example to use Nostr, you can actually share pictures on there that you can't do on YouTube. Scotty says, does anyone have input on Damus versus Primal on iOS? Scotty, it really depends on what country you're in. I think you're in Japan, right? So in that case, I would probably lean towards Damus because Primal is good, I think, but you have to be, although Strike might be available in Japan. The thing that's really compatible with Primal is Strike. So if you have a Strike account, I think that Primal is a good option. I like Primal, but Amethyst is way better, in my opinion. Bitcoin Nurse says, I like the mug. Be safe buying from individuals and having items shipped to your home for safety. Yes, good idea. Good idea there. For safety, a P.O. box would be good. You know, that might be a good idea for everybody here is to get yourself a P.O. box that isn't associated with your physical address, right? We've seen over the last couple months here, there's been a ton of kidnappings, of break-ins. People are going to be going after Bitcoiners probably for the next 5 years. That's my guess. Once we get past that, once criminals understand how hard it is to take Bitcoin if it's secured properly, I think they're going to give up on that. But for these next 5 years, I would say they're going to get pretty bad. So just be aware of that. And you could consider using something like the 21 Sats security and inheritance solution that we have with Superbacked. You actually don't have to have any sort of trace of Bitcoin in your house. So even if somebody broke in, if somebody burned down your house, whatever that may be, government showed up at your door, if you have it secured properly using something like Superbacked and the solution that we have, you don't have to have a trace of Bitcoin at your house, which I think will help people sleep much better than they are today. So consider things like that. P.O. box, get your Bitcoin security dialed in so you don't have any trace of Bitcoin in your house. Kind of my plan going forward, I would say, is I want to have the majority, I'd say 95% of my Bitcoin locked up in multi-sig with Superbacked layered on top of that. So fully distributed geographically. I'm going to put different keys in different countries. And then I'm going to have some sats on like my Lightning wallets. And I'm going to have a cold card here at the house just in case I need Bitcoin, in case I need quick access to it. But the 95% of it is going to be very difficult for me to access. And if it's difficult for me to access, it's going to be much more difficult for somebody else to access. So that's kind of my long-term plan. I'm not there yet, but I'm working towards that over time. Tom says, Richest Man in Babylon is my favorite non-Bitcoin book about investment. Never read it before, but I've heard good things about it. Otis says, where do you see yourself in 5 years, your channel, your life moving out of Canada? Whoa. Otis, that's a good question, my friend. I don't know. I have an idea what I want it to look like. I wrote it down as part of our proof of work course that we're going through. Kind of my dream would be to spend May till October here in Canada and spend the other months somewhere else, whether that's in Nashville, Texas, Alberta, maybe not Alberta for the winter. Winters are pretty cold in Alberta. El Salvador, who knows? Somewhere, Indonesia, New Zealand, somewhere. I want to go somewhere different every year and kind of get out of the cold here and touch some sand, touch some grass, get some sunshine. That's where I want to be in 5 years from now. But there's going to be a lot of things that have to kind of come together before that happens. But I think it will. I think it'll happen. I never want to sell this property here. I want to keep this property forever in the family, just like Bitcoin. But I do want to be somewhere else for the winter times. But for my channel, I don't know. Like, I don't have any huge goals of hitting like 1 million subscribers or anything like that. I actually told people to unsubscribe to my channel a couple months ago because that's not what it's about. That's just a complete illusion in the world. It's an illusionary metric that way too many people spend way too much time worrying about. So I just want to help as many people as I can. I want to grow this network as much as I can. I want to make sure that the people who are holding Bitcoin today have that Bitcoin in 500 years from now, whatever that looks like, whatever journey that takes me on. And I just want to maintain my voice and integrity. That's it. So it doesn't matter how many subs I have. It doesn't matter how many people show up here in the morning. I just want to speak what's on my mind. I want to speak the truth. I don't want to be influenced by anybody. And thank God we have such an amazing community here who is allowing me to do that without taking sponsors or advertisers for the channel. So I hope that makes sense. Jason says, what do you recommend for me to start my transition from fiat to Bitcoin? What dApps or DEX wallets would you say I should use? I don't know what you mean. What's a dApp or a DEX? Decentralized apps or decentralized exchanges? It depends. I mean, that's a really loaded question. Just start buying. That's what I would say. People worry too much about like the non-KYC, KYC stuff. This is what I would say to somebody who's just kind of showing up today in Bitcoin. Start buying. Take whatever you can. Take some of your old investments, put it into Bitcoin. Look around your house, sell some things, whatever you haven't used in the last year or two, sell that, convert it to Bitcoin. Lump sum, everything that you can. If you have any money in your savings account, put that into Bitcoin. Not all of it. Obviously, you need some emergency cash kicking around. Physical cash, though, not cash in the bank, physical cash. And then put the rest into Bitcoin. That's your lump sum. That's where you start. From there, you set up like a weekly DCA. You can use something like Bitcoin Well, which I'm going to do a little giveaway here right away. But set up a recurring buy. So every week, take like 20 bucks, 15 bucks, whatever that is. The amount does not matter. It's just the consistency of it. So set yourself up in a DCA, weekly, monthly, whatever that is, whatever you can afford, put that into Bitcoin and start signing up for different things like ZBD, like ShakePay, like the Smiles app, like Fountain, and just find ways to compound sats daily. Don't look at the dollar amount. Consider each sat to be $1. So if you can earn 20 sats from listening to a podcast, you just earn $20 in the future. And compound that. Keep that in a Lightning wallet every once in a while. Send that to your cold storage or your wallet. You can just start with an Aqua wallet. Go to aqua.net, AQUA.net, and just kind of use that as your main wallet for a while. From there, you go to cold storage and then to multi-sig and then to encryption. And that's kind of where your journey goes to. And then just keep going, keep learning, keep immersing yourself in Bitcoin. If you want to be a psychopath like me, you can spend 8 to 12 hours every day for your life in Bitcoin, or you can just keep doing whatever you do in the fiat world and converting that into Bitcoin. But, oh, and I forgot to mention there too, you mentioned the DEX and the dApps. Also, if you have any other altcoins, just swap them into Bitcoin. Don't wait for the fiat price to get back to what they were, because they might not ever. And that doesn't matter. You should be measuring it against Bitcoin. So that's what I would say. That's kind of the starting point for any Bitcoiners out there who are kind of new here. And we got, what happened here? Otis, new member, Bitcoin Journeyman. Nice. Thank you, Otis. And he also, the generous fella that he is, gifted a 88 Sats radio membership to somebody else. I don't know who got that. It doesn't tell me. But thank you, Otis. That's very, very generous of you, my friend. So let's give away some Bitcoins. Should we? I think so. So I mentioned the DCA, or not the DCA, the recurring buy. And you can use Bitcoin Well if you're in Canada or the US. You can set up a recurring buy. So here's what I would do. Set up like a weekly or monthly, any amount that you're comfortable with that you're not going to notice. Set up a Lightning wallet from Speed, Coinos, Wallet of Satoshi, and just send that every week. It'll take money out of your bank account and it'll send you sats via Lightning. And check that balance. Once it gets up to like 50,000, 100,000 sats, that's when you move it to on-chain. That's when you create a UTXO. And you can use an Aqua wallet to do that. You can swap from Lightning to on-chain. So again, I know people get lost in that whole thing, so I'm going to say it again. You set up a recurring buy using something like Bitcoin Well. You use Lightning withdrawal, so you're not creating a bunch of UTXOs there. And if you don't know what a UTXO is, you should spend some time learning about that. So you send it from the exchange, from Bitcoin Well to your Lightning wallet. Once that balance gets up to be 50, 100,000 sats, that's when you move it to your Aqua wallet on Lightning. And you can actually swap that from Lightning to on-chain. Hold on. Louise. Still got some Vegas in me. Actually, it wasn't even Vegas. It was freaking Canmore that got me. The wedding and then the 13-hour drive home. That's what did the most damage to me. Anyway, so that's the process there. So you can use Bitcoin Well for that. And I'll share the link here. It's just bitcoinwell.com/Jor. I'll put that in the show notes in the pinned comment as well. I got a lot to share today with everybody. Bitcoin Well. And the nice thing about Bitcoin Well is they give us some sats to give away to the community here. So not only do they have the best platform, not only do they allow Lightning withdrawals and recurring buys, but they're also a fan of the show. They said, hey, Jor, give some sats to your community every day. So that's what we're going to do. So get your Lightning wallets out. If you have Speed, Koinos, Wallet of Satoshi, get that out right now. And the first person who scans this QR code is going to get some sats, some free sats. Ready? And if I get about 68,999,000 and some, I can get a Cybertruck. But instead, I'm gonna give some sats to you. So you ready? I gave you a bit of a warning here. Set. Go. And I'll zoom in on this too so you can see it a little bit better. $448 sats to the first person who scans that QR code there. Congratulations. Hold on to those sats for the next decade, and you'll be able to buy something pretty big with that. So let's see if that has been scanned, and we will move on. Yeah, somebody got it. And if you feel like it, put in the chat if you got it. We're going to do another one here because why wouldn't we? So if you missed the first one, you get a second chance here. Second chance into the well. 444. That's a nice number. 444 sats for the first person to scan that QR code there. Courtesy of the Bitcoin Well. All right, hopefully that's been claimed. Yes, it has. So congratulations there. We should zoom out here a little bit so we're not, whoa, wrong screen. There we go. Okay. So there you go. Once again, that is bitcoinwell.com/Jor. Get yourself an account. Start setting up some weekly buys. And that's the best way to do it. Where is that on here? bitcoinwell.com/Jor. Get 5 free tosses into the wishing well for a chance at 5 million sats. So that's what you get for using that link. You get 5 tosses and probably about 2,500 sats minimum for doing that, for using that code. So there you have it. There you have it. All right. So what do we got here? We got Gary says, how can Bitcoin scale to global adoption if we have to run a node, encrypt keys? Shouldn't onboarding be easy? Yeah. Well, number one, it's going to get easier. Number two, when it's easy, then the opportunity will be gone. And in the future, there won't be people worrying about encryption for their keys. Probably in a decade from now, not everybody's going to have their own UTXO. That just kind of shows where we are today. If you're somebody who's lucky enough to have one UTXO, you're going to be in a very, very small percentage of people in the world. And you'll see, even if it's 50,000 sats or 200,000 sats, you're going to want to protect that with everything that you have. And I know a lot of people get distracted by the fiat price and they don't value sats like they should. But that's the reality, is not everybody's going to have their own UTXO. most people are going to be using things like eCash and Lightning, and they'll be using custodial wallets where they actually don't hold the keys to their Bitcoin. But that's coming. But again, once we get there, the opportunity of Bitcoin will be gone. It'll still go up because that's what happens. That's what happens when you have a truly fixed supply, is that the price will go up forever. Because, or the cost of everything in Bitcoin will go down forever, I should say. That's more like it. And we got Alan here. Alan Howick sent in 121 sats saying, thank you for inspiring me to become a better Bitcoiner. Well, thank you, Alan. I appreciate that, my friend. That is very kind of you. Very kind. What else we got here? Tom says we need an accessible document with Friends of Jor links. I know. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, Tom. So part of me taking some time off of the channel here was actually so I could do some things like this, because I just have too much shit going on. And I do want a place where we can have all these links here and you can easily access them. So I'm probably going to put them on my Bitcoin Journey website. That's my plan today. But it's not ready yet, unfortunately. But it's a good idea, Tom. Thank you. Oliver. What do we got here? Just zapped. Interviewed for a bank last week. Conflicted, but will sell 99% of my fiat dollar for Bitcoin. Let's fucking go. Also, did you hear about the Turkish lira? Everything goes to zero versus Bitcoin. I didn't hear about it, but let's take a look at that. So thank you, Oliver, for the zap. I don't know which one it was. 99, 500, not sure. But let's look at the Turkish lira in Bitcoin. But yeah, Oliver's absolutely right. Every fiat currency is going to go to zero against Bitcoin. Bitcoin price in Turkish lira. Where do we see this here? Usually they have a nice chart here on Google. But anyways, it says the price of converting Bitcoin to 1 Turkish lira is 4,223,957 today. Wow. So what is this? 24 hours. Look at this. Look at this chart. This is like every fiat currency is going to have this kind of same kind of a chart. Wow. That is nuts. I mean, yeah, in the last little while it's jumped up again, but like look at this. Back in where did this? So back in 2020, I think 52. Wow. So back in 2020 in Turkey, you could have purchased 1 Bitcoin for 59,529 Turkish lira. That was May 2026, 2020, about 5 years ago. 1 Bitcoin cost $59,000 or liras. Today, it's going to cost you $4 million. Oh, wow. So again, 59,000 5 years ago, or 56,000, whatever that was. 59,000 lira for 1 Bitcoin. Today, 4 million. What is that? That's like well, 50,000 divided by a million would be 20 times 4. That's 80x. 80x, not 80%. 80x in 5 years. So somebody asked why the Bitcoin bull run will catch most people by surprise. Because most people have no idea that that's happening right now. Most people are completely oblivious to what's happening and why the price of Bitcoin's going up, why fiat dollars are being just going to zero. Most people have no idea what's going on. Otis says, thank you for the support, Jor. No problem, man. No problem at all. Jason says, what's Nostr? So Nostr is, I mean, I'm not going to explain it all again. I've talked every day about Nostr. I'll show you again. I'll show you the clip here from American HODL. We'll watch it one more time because I think that this is a really good. And then we got one more thing to watch as well. So this is the second time we've watched this, but we'll do it for Jason here today. I think this is his first live show, so we got to look after him. So Nostr is basically a protocol, right? So think about Nostr like email, like Bitcoin, like the internet. It's a protocol, and people are building apps on top of Nostr, and it's basically today in its current form a social network that is actually compatible with Bitcoin. So if I made a post on Nostr and somebody liked it, they could actually, instead of just sending me a like or reposting it or commenting on it, they could actually send me sats over the Lightning Network for it. So let's watch this video here quickly about Nostr, and then it might help a little bit.
The internet was supposed to be our enlightenment. The internet was supposed to be our enlightenment. It was supposed to set us free. Instead, it became a digital prison.
Centralized platforms decide what you see, what you say, what you are.
But freedom doesn't ask permission. It runs on open protocols. It runs on Nostr.
With Nostr, there are no gatekeepers. It's just nodes and other stuff transmitted by relay.
Built for speech, fueled by Bitcoin, owned by no one, controlled by you.
Nostr gives everyone on Earth the ability to speak freely forever. That's new, and we think that's a very big deal.
This isn't an app. It's a protocol, and it cannot be stopped.
The internet is ours again. Own your voice, own your keys, own your future on Nostr.
Whoa, I disappeared there. Okay, how do I stop sharing? What the heck's going on? All right, I guess I'm going to be small for the rest of the time here. What the heck? Hold on, I'm going to have to... What do I do here? Settings. Huh. Okay, well, let's try this again, then I'll take it down. Why am I mini? Remove. There we go. Ah, tricked you. Tricked you, StreamYard. Dummies. So that's Nostr. And I said that every single person here should be on Nostr today. If you're a Bitcoiner, you should be taking advantage of this stuff. Separate X says, how do you feel about Bitcoin Core and the things they've been that they have started to, speaking the business language and how it will impact Bitcoin? I don't know. I've talked about this quite a bit on the show, so I don't really feel like going back into it. I think the main takeaway from that whole thing was that people really need to understand how fragile Bitcoin is and the important things like running a node, the importance of running a node. Plastic says, hello, Jor and plebs. We are winning. Strong hands, long-term thinking. Amen to that. Yeah, Jets, you're probably right. This is kind of my goal. Get out of the cold, spend some time in Thailand and Bali during the winters. Doing that now. Nice. Well, I might have to get in touch with you there because I could use some tips. Bitcoin Nurse says, I know you're not into checking the price, but we are pumping to 108K. Nice. That is good news. There's a lot of Bitcoiners, and the part of me too wishes that it would kind of stay here forever. But I also know that as the price goes up, that brings more interest into Bitcoin. And some of those people will stick around. Some of them will be here in 5 years, and that's what we want. So that's what the price does. Mediterranean Sea. Yeah, that would be beautiful. BTC Backpacker. I'm late, but I'm here. I was watching the Maple Bitcoin show with you guys and Jerry. Great show. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, that was, that's right. I forgot about that. Jerry was on Maple Bitcoin here for the Friday stream. That was awesome. We had a really good, really good. I probably didn't, talk about it enough or share it enough, but there it is right there. Go to Maple Bitcoin YouTube channel and you can see the latest live with Jerry. So it was me, Rajat, and Jerry. No, me, Rajat, and Jerry. I said Jerry like Rajat. Jerry. Jason says, I love the explanation, Jor. Thank you for reading and addressing my message. I just screen recorded. I'm going to sit down and rewatch, but you just mentioned. What the hell's going on here? Freaking Arnie hair everywhere. Do my best to learn. Yeah, that's a good idea. Take a screen record, write it down, and kind of do things in that order, and you'll be good to go. Okay. Want to watch one more video here before we go. I want to keep this. I don't really have to keep it under 2 hours. That was just my plan. But I'm filming another podcast today with another Bitcoiner, so I got some shit to do. Blockstream app just released a few days ago, and it takes you from newbie to self-custody. Pretty cool. I heard that, actually. I haven't checked it out yet, but I heard that. Otis says, you're my guide. You're knowledgeable, humble, supportive. The list goes on. It's good to know somebody like you exists in this community. Thank you, Otis. Appreciate that, my friend. Doom Kid, 91 future billionaires in here. That's right. Looking forward to whole coiner status before the end of the summer. Wow. Wow. Good for you, man or woman. But that's it. I got some shit yesterday for saying that. I got in some shit. Some girl was like, because I said, I was talking about the females in Bitcoin and the recent trend of women getting into Bitcoin. And I was like, I check my analytics once in a while and I see the percentage of men and women. And I said, thankfully, there's nobody who doesn't know what sex they are on there, because that's how it shows. It shows man, woman, and then other or something. And I think mine's like 0%, which is, I wouldn't say good, but I've done intentionally filtered people out of here who are confused and think that there's more than two genders in the world. So she gave me a little bit of shit, but I said, I don't care. If you don't like what I'm talking about, then find somebody else to watch. Like no one's forcing you to be here. So Laugh Pad, my man, almost missed the stream today. Hello. Yeah, I was looking for you. Morning, living the future in Jor. And I see that Laugh Pad sent in a DCA. So I got to add his name to the list as well here. Jason says, I'm determined to learn and execute. I heard of Bitcoin in 2016 and barely started getting serious about it about a year ago, but only played with alts. Now I'm turning into a Bitcoin maxi. I appreciate the love, Jor. Everybody gets there. Don't worry. Everybody's gone through the ringer here with altcoins here. It's part of the journey, but it sounds like you're on the right track, Jason. So here we go. Duncan and Laugh-Pad. Both with the DCAs today. Sorry, I didn't mean to uncapitalize you there, Laugh-Pad. But we got 2782 for that. So I'm gonna put that one actually, because we always want the lower one here. 2782. So thank you, Duncan. Thank you, Laugh-Pad, for the DCAs today. Frankie, please take a rest, Jor, for your sake. No. Hell no. We are not resting here. We got way too much stuff to do. We got way too many opportunities here. I'll rest one day, but it's not going to be today or tomorrow or anytime soon. I know my voice sounds a little bit shitty, but I'm on the mend. I had a week. Last week, I had some rough looking videos, but no, I woke up today. I shot out of bed like a fucking cannon today. I did a workout this morning. I did a workout at 6 a.m. this morning and had some coffee, got ready for the show, had a cold shower, there is way too much opportunity right now to be resting. I appreciate the concern, but I've never been in a better place overall in terms of the channel, in terms of the community, in terms of Bitcoin Citadel. There's a lot to look forward here to, and I'm just going to keep working it. Even King Golf's been very busy too, so I do have to prioritize a few things differently, which is why I stopped doing a daily show here. But no, we're definitely not resting. We got shit to do here. Thank you, Lotpad. I appreciate that. Jason says, yes, I saw the 2-hour live with Jerry along with Rajat. Wonderful insight. Wonderful insight. God bless. Yeah, don't get confused. I got a runny nose and I got a cough, but I'm fine. It's just temporary. Plastic, you're the sheet. Jason says, hella base, not time for confusion and the whole woke mind virus. Exactly. I said I start every show with, this is logical and actionable advice for Bitcoiners, for future Bitcoiners. So if we're talking logically and in reality, I know a lot of people don't live in reality, but in reality, there's men and there's women, and that's it. And I'm not going to go along with any fucking charades for anybody who thinks that there's more than that, because there's not. And the more we continue, the more we continue down that road and just accept that that's reality, the worse we become. So I get it. I've lost a lot of people, a lot of subscribers through the last year of, saying things like that, but I don't care, because I'm not going to appease. I'm not going to just, bend down and take it, because it's bullshit. Dustin says, I missed something. Oh, we're still in the DCA here. Wow. Sorry, everybody. Too busy yapping. So I guess since we got a question about it, this is basically the DCA. So I have, there's this really cool website. It's called Zap Me a Coffee, which if you have a Lightning wallet on your phone, you can send $3 worth of value to the show. So you can try it out if you want to. You don't have to, obviously. Everything here is voluntary. But it's cool because it takes $3 worth of fiat dollars, converts it into Bitcoin, and sends it over Lightning. So that's Zap Me a Coffee there. And so the DCA is something that Laughpad, Duncan, a few other people started doing, which is our new way to measure the price of Bitcoin. Because as you can see here, a couple months ago, that same $3 coffee, we got 3,831 sats for that. So that's what I received from the $3 coffee. But as the price of Bitcoin went up, now we see that same $3 coffee only gets 2,782 sats. So as the price of Bitcoin goes up, the sats that I receive from that $3 coffee actually go down. And that's very reflective of salaries too. As the price of Bitcoin goes up and you get paid in dollars, you get less and less sats over time. So that's kind of how we measure the price around here, is through our DCA and through very generous folks like Duncan and Laughpad and others. And so that's something we do here. John says, eventually a coffee will be 15 to 30 sats. Well, depends on your timeline, because in my opinion, eventually a coffee will be less than a sat. You'll be able to buy a full Keurig for less than a sat one day. That's where we're going to have microsats, but that's a ways away. But yeah, I want to show one more video here before we go. I can't believe somebody told me to take a rest. Take a rest, he says. Where is that now? Where is that video? It's a good one. So Coinbase has actually had a couple really solid ads as of late. As much as I hate Coinbase, these ads are pretty effective. It seems like they put some time and energy into making these for the average person to be able to comprehend what's going on here. So we've all kind of seen the graphic showing like the price of a house in 2016 was 300,000. The price in 2025, that same house is worth 500,000. So the houses have gone up in fiat dollars. But when you look at that exact same house in Bitcoin, it was 2,000 Bitcoin back in 2016 or 20,000 Bitcoin back in 2016. And now the cost of a house is about 4 Bitcoin. So even though prices of assets have been going up because they print more money, in Bitcoin terms, in real terms, they've actually been going down. And that's going to continue to happen with houses, with vehicles, with land, with everything. Everything's going to trend towards zero to Bitcoin. Everything's going to get cheaper and cheaper in Bitcoin terms. So this is Coinbase's most recent ad, and I really enjoyed this one. So forget it's from Coinbase because Coinbase can lick nuts, but this is their ad.
A decade. In 2012, you'd need 30,000 Bitcoin to buy this house. A decade later, it'd only cost you 20 Bitcoin. And today, it could be yours for 5. If home prices keep falling in Bitcoin, why do they keep rising in dollars? Keep falling. If home prices keep falling in Bitcoin, why do they keep rising in dollars?
There we go. Now, why am I still little? Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay, let's put this back up. Remove it. There we go. Wow. Painful. Painful. What a good ad, though. My God. Unfortunately, it was from Coinbase, but that's okay. I mean, it's gonna help people realize what's going on here. Okay, so a couple more comments. We actually stayed pretty up to date, up to speed with the comments today. It's pretty impressive. Jason says, I knew Jor was the man, but holy fuck, God blessed me with the saint. I'm determined, man. For me and my family, for you guys, I will prevail. California takes a toll on you. I will escape. I love that. And if more people had that kind of attitude, I think the world would be a much different place than it is today. So God bless. Will the live be posted on the channel? I've got to go now, but I'm going to set up my stuff and eventually start being a donator and support the channel once I've got my stuff set up. Much love. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, thanks for coming by today. This will be available on the channel. I'm going to have all the links that I talked about in the show notes and the pinned comments. And we're gonna do this show every Monday morning. That's the new plan, just in case people are joining here. So this is going to be every Monday morning. Again, I love Mondays, and most people hate Mondays. So I figured I could bring some good energy to the start of the week for you. So that's the plan. Plus, I'm going to keep doing daily shows, but they're going to be for the Living in the Future community. We're going to be doing the live 365 days of Bitcoin every morning from that community there. So it is a great community. It is a growing community. And if you want to join, the lowest tier is $5 a month. It gets you access to the show, the Signal chat for another 3 weeks. And it's a good place to be. So again, it's a really easy way to support the show. And I'm also going to have School. I don't know if you guys have heard of the School platform before, but that's going to be available. Somebody actually already joined. I set it up. I shared a couple videos on there. And we had our first member join the School already. I didn't even promote it at all to anybody. So that's kind of cool. Love Coinbase ads, hate Coinbase. Amen to that. Love the sinner, hate the sin. Okay, so yeah, just one more time there. I would say I'm going to have all these links at the bottom of the video here in the pinned comments, I should say. Make sure you go to subscribe to the channels there that I talked about. Jerry, Otis. There's a couple more there too. Forgive me for missing them, but they'll all be there. So go subscribe, give them the benefit of the doubt until they say something you don't agree with, and you can always unsubscribe. But it's very important to support the Bitcoin community here any way that you can. If you don't have the sats, if you don't have the money to do it, those are the best ways to do it. Subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you join Nostr. I have a lot of videos on my channel about Nostr, so if you need some help with that, just go to my channel, search Nostr. You should be able to find a couple videos. And yeah, if you want to start taking your Bitcoin security a little bit more seriously, if you want to start looking at a multi-sig, if you need help with your cold storage, if you need to get Superback set up, you can just shoot me an email here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make you do a little bit of work. You can find it. There's websites. My stuff's all over the place. If you want to get a hold of me, you can that way. And finally, this is going to be a weekly show for a little while, at least every Monday morning. But if you do want to catch the daily shows, you can go to the Patreon there and sign up as a member, and you're going to have access to the show every single morning. So it's going to be very similar to this show, except a little bit shorter and a little bit more focused on certain topics around Bitcoin. So that is what I got for you today, my friends. Big thanks once again to everybody who sent in the zaps today. Big shout out to Josh for 8,888 sats, the biggest zap of the day. And the DCAs from Duncan and from LaughPad. And I apologize for my voice today. This is the most I've talked in about a week, 2 weeks probably, but we got through there. So, and to Craig too as well for 2,100 sats. So once again, if you want to support the channel, you can join the Patreon. You can send some sats to this link, or you can send it to the new address, 88sats@speed.app. And I'm going to have that. I'm going to have that open in the future so people can leave a comment during the show. And the last thing I'm going to say here is that if you do watch this later, if you weren't here during the live show, I'm going to start doing some weekly kind of shoutouts. So if you send in a super chat to this video, or if you send in a zap to Arnie's wallet with a comment, or to the Speed wallet with a comment, whatever that is, I'm going to start reading them on the show every week. So for the people who aren't here live but still want to support the channel, I don't want to miss out on giving you a shout out, I guess I'll say. So thank you once again for everybody who is here today showing up, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Living in the Future community, and we'll see you next week for everybody else. So have an amazing Monday today. Have an amazing week, and let it be the best day of your life today, because the only thing more scarce than Bitcoin is our time. So enjoy it, spread some love, share some sats, and support your fellow Bitcoiners. So we'll talk to you right back here tomorrow or next Monday. Bye-bye.